I remember the smell of the morning dew in our village as if it were yesterday. The birds would sing softly, and the mountains would greet the rising sun with their majestic silence. This was my home. The land where I had raised my children, the fields where I had worked from dawn till dusk, and the house where laughter and warmth filled every corner. It was simple, yes, but it was ours. I watched my children grow here. Little feet running across the dusty paths, hands sticky with honey, faces flushed with excitement and innocence. I was proud, more proud than I had ever been of anything in my life. My husband passed away when the eldest was only 10. I became both mother and father to them, feeding them, protecting them, teaching them, sometimes scolding them when I felt they needed it. And they thrived. I loved every noisy, chaotic, beautiful moment. Then came the city. My children, one by one, whispered about opportunities, schools, jobs, and better lives. I listened and smiled, even when my heart sank a little. I had always known that my children would leave one day, but I never imagined it would happen so soon, so suddenly, so ruthlessly. It started with small visits. "Mother, we will be back soon." "Don't worry," they said, their eyes gleaming with excitement. And I believed them. I thought the city would call them, but the village would always hold them like it held me. How naive I was. The day they left, I carried my youngest child's small bag to the road. I watched as the old truck they rented rumbled down the dirt path, kicking up dust, carrying away not just their belongings, but my heart as well. I waved until their shapes disappeared into the horizon, until their voices were swallowed by the distance. I returned home, empty-handed, empty-hearted. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. I wrote letters, but they came back unopened. I sent gifts, little trinkets from the village, and they never acknowledged them. I called their phones, but the lines were always busy or they never answered. It was as if I had become invisible, as if my very existence was a burden to them. I remember sitting by the window, watching the road, imagining their city lives. I imagined them laughing in bright cafes, walking under tall buildings, seeing lights that I would never see. I imagined them forgetting me, forgetting this home, forgetting the hands that had held them, the hands that had worked tirelessly so they could dream bigger than I ever could. I became a ghost in my own home. I cooked meals for myself that I once cooked for 6, spoke to the walls as if they were my children, and slept with the sound of the wind whispering through the trees. Sometimes I would go to the fields, hoping to feel them near me again, and the silence there was deafening. Neighbors would sometimes stop by, and I would smile politely, hiding the ache in my chest. I could not tell them that my own children had abandoned me, that the very people I had nurtured now treated me like a stranger. Pride kept me from crying in front of anyone. Pride kept me from begging. Pride kept me alive, even when hope had left. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, painting the sky with colors that once made my children laugh, I realized something. I had given everything for them, and perhaps in their ambition they had forgotten, but I had not lost everything. I still had the memories, the land, the home we had built together. Perhaps one day they would remember. Perhaps one day they would return and find me here, waiting, patient, still loving them unconditionally. The village accepted me back into its embrace when the children did not. I spoke to the old women who remembered my youth, who shared their stories and their sorrows. I tended the garden, planted seeds, and watched life grow around me. I realized that even though I was alone, I was not entirely lost. The earth, the trees, the wind, they became my companions. Still, every night, I would light a small lamp by my window and imagine the faces of my children, hoping they would look back toward me, toward the home that shaped them. And though tears often fell onto the windowsill, I held onto a fragile thread of hope that one day they might see that love does not abandon even when hearts do. Time passed slowly. I aged, my hair silvered, my hands grew stiff, and my back hunched. But I kept walking the paths they once ran on, speaking softly to the memories that lingered like shadows. I would tell anyone who would listen, anyone who would sit with me for a while, about the laughter of my children, the smell of bread in the morning, the first snow, the first rain. It was my way of keeping them alive, even if they had left me behind. Then came the day when I heard the faintest sound of wheels on the old road. My heart skipped. Could it be them? Could it be my children returning? I ran outside, clinging to the hope that had kept me alive for so many years. But it was only a traveler, a stranger who stopped briefly to ask for directions. I laughed through my tears, the laughter bitter and sweet. Even if they did not return, life would continue. I would continue. I planted flowers near the window, tended the garden, and each night lit my small lamp. It became my ritual, my solace. And in that quiet light, I felt their presence in spirit, even if not in body. I realized that love, even when unreciprocated, is never wasted. It grows quietly in the soil of our hearts, waiting for those who need it most, sometimes even only for ourselves. I am old now. My children live in a city filled with lights, noise, and ambition. Perhaps they are happy. Perhaps they are well-fed, well-dressed, living lives I could never have imagined for them. And yet, I am here, in my village, alive, remembering, loving, and waiting. I have been abandoned, yes, but I am not broken. I have been left behind, yes, but I am still whole. The wind whispers my name through the trees, the birds sing their morning songs, and the mountains stand tall and patient. And in all of it, I find a quiet strength, a dignity, a love that no distance, no city, no abandonment can take away. This is my story. I am the mother left behind. I am the woman who loved without limit. And though my children may have forgotten me, I have not forgotten myself, my home, or the life I have lived. And in that, I have found a peace no city can give, no ambition can steal, no abandonment can destroy.